Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Horn Hangouts. I feel like I haven't seen you for ages, and I really haven't because we missed last week's. But we're back. It's Friday night here in Berlin, which means it's time for a little Horn Hangout party. And this time we are hanging out with some of the best third horn players that I know. And I'm so excited. I can see them on my screen. You can't see them yet. You will in a second. You will be so happy to see who they are. I just want to say welcome to everyone watching on Facebook. It's great to know that you're there and where you're all watching from. I'd love to see that. If you have any juicy questions for our third horn players or any stories you want to tell about playing third horn or want to tell us what you're drinking, then hop on over to the website because that's where I get all the good questions. And on the website are my loyal favorite horn hangouters of all time. You're all there. My mum is watching. She's one of the most favorites of all time. Jason from Reno, Nevada. Amateur Shipping's watching. Catherine Wu. Hong Kong, Matthew, hello. There's really so many of you. Kit Stickett from San Francisco. Hi, Kit. Michael Buckwalter. It's great to see you all out there. So get your third horn questions ready. And with no further ado, I would like to go to a full screen of third horn legends. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm so excited to see you all. Yeah, I don't know what the order is of everybody's screen, but yeah, Alex, come on, show us. Here she is, Alex Edmondson from the London Symphony Orchestra. Somebody's about to go to bed. Hello. We're not. Oh, she's had enough.
Had enough already.
She was waving to us all for the last half hour, so I guess she's excused. She can go to bed. Alex, welcome from the London Symphony Orchestra. Michael Winter and Elise from Boston. Where are you guys now? Say hi, Elise. Hi, Elise.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. It's so nice to see you. Where are you guys right now?
We're in Boston. Yeah.
You're in Boston. You're staying safe.
Yep.
Good. And Elise has been practicing the horn, I hear.
Yeah, she has.
Elise, are you going to play me something? Can you go like the horn like Daddy does?
Can you buzz? Cool.
I think she's too. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh. Okay. So the mouthpiece question is going to come. Michael, the mouthpiece question always comes on Horn Hangouts. What mouthpiece do you play on? So get ready for that, you guys. To my right, I see the absolutely legendary Dan Gingrich. Dan, thank you so much for joining us. People will be wondering what on earth you're doing here because you've been acting principal for how many years?
I did for 6 years, but I'm back to associate/third horn.
Gosh, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but thank you so much for joining us. It's really, really fantastic to see you here. Wolfgang Vladar, we find you're out in the countryside somewhere near Vienna. Third horn of Vienna Philharmonic. Servus, Wolfgang.
Servus.
I'm glad your internet is working out. Let's see how long you'll stay with us. Welcome. Jose Sogorb, is that right? Sogorb.
Sogorb. Yeah.
Sogorb. Now, Jose, welcome. Third horn of the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. And this arrived today from Jose. He's just become a new dad.
Hey, congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Lucas. Oh, and where is he? We wanted to see him. Oops, that was my iPad.
Upstairs, feeding.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
really
thanks.
fantastic. Stefan de Leval Jezierski needs no introduction. He is not only one of our favorite horn hangouters, he wears the t-shirt and I'm very proud. So welcome, Stefan. Lovely to see you. And next to you on my screen is another beauty in Horn Hangout t-shirts, Leelanee Sterrett. Hi, Leelanee.
Hi.
You've also been acting principal, haven't you?
Acting associate, yeah.
Associate. These are complicated words, you know. Associate, acting, third slash. Yeah. Okay. We'll get back to. And where are you right now?
I'm in New Jersey, so outside of the city.
Don't they New Jersey?
New Jersey. Oh, I can't.
Okay.
I shouldn't even try.
And Javier Gándara from the Met, the third horn from the Met, a legend. And I'm so honored to have you here, Javier, because you're not really, you don't hang out online all that much, do you?
I don't. You're right. But thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's great. We want all your secrets about playing third horn in operas. You and Wolfgang, I'm sure you have who else has played third horn in an opera orchestra? Any of you? Dan, were you in? No?
Never
None
did
of
an
you
opera.
actually. No, it's quite a special job, isn't it? To all of you just watching, I'm just fiddling around with my iPad because suddenly I got a video from Fox News instead of the Horn Hangouts video page, and I can see Donald Trump, and I'd much rather see my third horn players. So I've got them back now. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, some people are experiencing some technical issues. Well, keep going. Just refresh your page. Joshua Pantoja from Puerto Rico says, "Great to see you, Professor Gándara." Javier, you know
Yes.
Joshua from Puerto Rico?
Absolutely, yes, of course.
Julio Blanco from Santander in Spain. Hola, Jose.
Hey, hola Julio. Good.
Heidi says Mazel Tov on the new baby. So Mazel Tov to that. Good evening from Belgium, from Annemie. So you've got people watching literally from all over the world. Stefan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a red wine from España.
Hombre.
Hombre.
I just found this in my wine cooler, so it's quite tasty. It's a Rioja Gran Reserva.
Muy bueno.
So it's good. I just got back from playing tennis.
It's the wine glass has a very nice. It's very nicely placed, Stefan. Are you going to slurp, or how are you going to drink?
Well, I don't know. Look at it. It's nice to bubbles. It's nice to see when the wine. It's
okay. So this is the first thing you've learned about third horn players today. They like their wine, right, guys? Well, Alex, you've got a vodka tonic.
They all never drink alcohol.
Never drink alcohol before a concert. Is that your preferred drink after a concert, Alex?
No, usually I usually like gin and tonic. I've been drinking.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I remember you and Jonathan Lipton on your. Really, gin tonics was the thing. Oh well, okay.
Well, it's
Vodka.
the perfect drink because you can have it before a meal, during a meal, after a meal, before a concert, during a concert, after a concert. It's perfect.
We'll just cut out the before the concert one.
Between the concert?
I like the attitude. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how do you get your courage to play if you don't drink something before you come?
Wolfgang, set an example here. Wolfgang, tell us about the Vienna Philharmonic. What are they doing right now?
We have we're playing about 8 concerts in June. Just with no break.
8 concerts.
8 concerts, yeah.
Okay.
With no break and with no money, which is nice. Just for streaming. I think they want the people to know that we're still here. I mean, there will be about, I think, 100 people in the hall are allowed in the moment. And we are all corona tested before we go on stage.
Before you go on stage. So, I mean, you like literally
not exactly before, the day before. They want to know that we are all corona free. So we play with 3 concerts with Barenboim, 2 with Muti, and 3 with Welsamöst.
Do they get tested as well?
Yes.
But that'll be fun for you, Wolfgang, because actually you haven't been doing a lot of horn playing, right?
Yeah. I have only to play Schubert 4th Symphony and 2 waltzes, so it might work even without.
Okay. Okay.
I started practicing 2 days ago.
Okay. It's 2 days ago. That's not fair. Stefan and I, we have a horn quartet concert coming up, so we're practicing a lot, right?
Oh yeah. It's such fast things that we never have to do in the orchestra, just like parts that Klaus Wallendorf arranged, and it's very, very fast technically. I was practicing, and usually the lip gets tired, and then my hand, oh my God, got to give my hand a rest. It's so unusual, but I'm just practicing, and I just hope to have it up to par by the time the concert comes.
Yeah, Klaus Wallendorf wrote, he sends his love to everybody today. He couldn't come, but he was of course invited, and he sends his love to everyone. He wrote all these four corners pieces for himself. He wrote all the third horn parts for himself. So they're like, and now, now Stefan has to.
No, so I have to deal with it.
Thanks,
That's
Klaus.
okay. It's a challenge. It keeps me busy. At least I don't have to wonder what to practice.
Dan, Kylie White says, you've been very graciously working with her, and she says hi. So there you go.
Hi, Kylie.
Hi, Kylie. Clayton Schaefer from Cincinnati, Joanna from Athens, Greece. And somebody's asked, Alex, you have a cello case behind you. Do you double on the cello?
No, my wife is the cellist in the LSO. So that's why there's a cello case there.
There you go. There you go. Leelanee, what's happening in your orchestra?
Nothing is happening. So New York is actually, we're still not even in phase one of our recovery. It's still under stay-at-home orders. I think, is that correct, Javier? We're still
That's right.
we're not quite there yet. We'll see. June 8th is, I think, the date when we're hoping to begin phase one, it's called, but all the orchestras are, there's not much happening, but there's a lot happening online, actually. So that's kind of been an interesting pivot for us to try to all become technically savvy enough to put recordings up. And it's been a unique challenge, but it's so good to see people, even if it's just on a screen. But we're just longing to be together in person, and we're not quite sure yet. So we still don't know when that's going to be. Yeah.
It's meant a lot. I mean, just to stand with, on stage with my guys, with Stefan, Andrew, and Andrew. I was just on the phone to Andrew Bain, sorry. Stefan, Andre, and Stefan Dorr. It was an amazing feeling, wasn't it, Stefan? We don't realize how much we appreciate each other until
so much fun. Like the whole month of March was just nothing going on. I played the last concert in the Philharmonic. I played the Beethoven, Christ on the Olive Mountain, and Strauss oboe concerto with Jonathan, and I played that with these two horns. I played it together with Andre, and little did I know that would be the last real regular concert in the Philharmonic with audience. And I watched it on Digital Concert Hall. I was watching this concert. It was so nostalgic to see that this is the way it was before. Everything was okay. This was like before all this happened. It's so just it's like sort of sometimes you wish you'd wake up and things would be the way they were before. Although I must say I've enjoyed this time, like being with my family and been practicing, like trying to learn how to do this whole online business. But it was so great to play together with Sarah and Stefan and Andre, and we played an actual horn quartet, little concert outdoors, and it just felt so good. I just really enjoyed this. So I hope everyone gets back as soon as possible, because it's not a luxury. It's something that our lifeblood, I think, as horn players.
But actually, Jose's orchestra, the Concertgebouw, they played a concert last night.
They are now, they were live.
Oh, they're live now. Oops. Okay.
They were just live. I don't know if they finished already. I don't know. I was busy putting my daughter in bed. But they did already 2 programs, and I'm in the next 3 programs. So I was free for these 2.
So how is it working? I mean, they were quite far apart. Everybody on the stage, no audience.
They were far apart, and then I heard that for this program, Vorsak 8, they got even farther away, and 2 meters away. Insane.
Crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. And what about opera, Javier? What about opera? Because you guys, it really sucks what we hear about the Met right now. Really sucks.
It really does. It does. Yeah, we've been furloughed since the middle of March, and they just canceled the fall opera season officially. And they're hoping that we will start January 1st, but that seems very unlikely. Now, that's just my personal opinion, but judging from the way things are shaping up in New York, I think we'll be lucky to be working in a year from now. Because even normal businesses, I was talking to somebody, not music related, an architect, and they're not opening their office for the rest of the year, 2020. So, and I asked them, when will you, even if you return to work, right, in an office, will you feel comfortable going to a restaurant or to a concert after? And they said, absolutely not. And there's my answer, right? And our answer for Leelanee as well. So I fear that this will go on for a long time. And, the motivation for me for practicing, and I'm sure for most of you as well, is to be able to play with other people. So practicing right now seems almost a contradiction when you think I'm working by myself and I can't play with anybody else. It's absurd.
Someone needs to invent something. Please, if there's any of you out there, they need to invent something where we can play together in real time. Because, I mean, Stefan and I have tried it. It just, nothing works. Basically nothing can work like that. But that would be so much fun if anybody could invent that.
Yeah. I'm fortunate that my son plays horn, so we play duets almost every day.
Oh, that's good.
That's a luxury that most people don't enjoy.
And Michael, you'll be there. You'll be there with Elise quite soon. You could tell. You'll be playing duets with her very soon. And Stefan's kids play the trumpet, so I guess you could have a little trio going on there.
We have played. I also play the trumpet. So we play. I mean,
traitor.
Duos. No, trumpet is I think it's good. Actually, practicing trumpet is good for the chops. It's like a wide mouthpiece. You can't hurt yourself with a trumpet mouthpiece, and I think it's good for the high register. I don't find it at all problematic. Switching back.
And it's so easy, no?
It's so easy. Really. The only thing I have a lot of respect for the high range of trumpet players. I can play really easy. Like if I had to play Leonora Overture Fanfare, the call, that would be really absolutely no problem. I could pick up any trumpet and I could play that, and it would be.
Any trumpet players watching? I can hear you.
Here's my trumpet practice meet.
Trumpet challenge.
Oh, look.
A trumpet practice meet.
But trumpet is. I started with trumpet. I still have my trumpet from the 6th grade when I started, and I had a talk with my father whether I should start playing horn or keep playing trumpet, and he told me horn is the intelligent choice. Each orchestra has more horn players. There are a lot of fantastic trumpet players, but if you play horn reasonably well, then you can have a good chance of getting a job. So, he was a really smart guy. So I'm glad that
the viola out there.
I have a trumpet. I can play still trumpet for fun. I played it with my jazz band for a few tunes. I have a flugelhorn. I got a really new flugelhorn.
Stefan, we'll do the flugelhorn at the after hangout party, yeah? Okay. We've got to get onto third horn stuff. To all of you watching off on Facebook, I know you've had a few technical difficulties. Facebook threw us out, and then Jakob started the stream again, but I know you're all there now because I can see you. Javier, there's some amigos watching. Hugo and Eric are watching. So hi guys, nice to see you. And also some of my dearest friends in LA are watching. Andrew Bain is watching, and Dylan and Annie Bosler. And Annie actually gave me these. Can you guys see these?
Oh, beautiful. That's the Horn Hangout logo earring.
Yeah. And Annie had those made. So they have their first outing today. And actually, Amy Jo should be with us right now, Amy Jo Ryan, but she had a union meeting or something, and it's going on a bit longer. So she might join us. Let's hope she does, because she's also one of my favorite third horns in the world. Okay, we're getting on to third horn question, guys. You ready for this? Okay, somebody's asked, Mathieu has just asked, what is the most funny excerpt for third horn in the symphonic orchestra? Now, if I will answer for Klaus Wallendorf, because I know which his would be. It goes, yeah. You know which that one is?
Yeah, I know that one. We recorded that for the horn.
Okay, so I'm going to go in the order I have on my screen. It's probably, I don't know how Zoom works, but I have Michael right up here at the top. Michael, your funniest excerpt for third horn?
Funniest excerpt. I mean, there's an awful lot of stuff that we play in the Boston Pops that we sit down, open the folder, and go, "Oh, really? Okay." I don't have a specific one. We get these weird charts that it says somewhere in a book that should be fine, and we go, "Oh, all right. Well, I guess I have to do that today." That's most of our weirdest things that we have on the job end up being Pops charts that somebody threw together 3 hours before a concert,
and might never get heard again.
Right, exactly.
Okay, all right. Alex, do you have a favorite or one that makes you giggle? Or we'll get to the mean ones.
In terms of funny exit, the one that you always get a massive shuffle for, and for some reason, no matter how well it goes, you always feel like, I don't know, really silly or stupid playing is in Mahler 3, the ba-ya-ya, and you always get a massive shuffle from it, and you just sort of want, even if it goes absolutely fine, it's just something highly embarrassing about playing that. I don't know why.
Tell me about it.
By the nods, I see everybody agrees with you. And I must say, as a horn player who sits next to the person on either side of the person who's played that, I agree, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
When we do it, Andres always wants me to just like annihilate it, which is I'm always going, really? I mean, people are looking at me like I'm just the drunk person that wandered into Mahler 3.
You want it to be over as quickly. You just want to sort of play it quietly, not get noticed, and like it just yeah. So it's strange but somehow funny moment. I don't know.
That's a very good one. I like that choice. Dan, what about you?
I'm sorry, I get so confused. I don't know what's a third horn excerpt and what is. But I was thinking about the Till Eulenspiegel. If you never heard that piece before, that key change is so sudden that suddenly the third horn takes over in a brand new key. I think for a listener, that might be a moment of...
that might be, a listener might find that funny, but I don't think a third horn player would find that funny. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Do you guys find that funny?
No, more a fourth horn solo.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous. I want that solo.
You can have it all the time.
Michael D has just suggested Academic Festival Overture. Wolfgang, would you agree with that?
With what?
With Academic Festival Overture, as Michael
No one ever plays it.
No one ever plays it. Oh.
We did it, I think, in fall in China, in Wuhan.
Wuhan?
Yeah,
Oh.
really. I was in Wuhan for almost 1 week in November.
Right. Well, moving swiftly along. Yeah. It's
I was
good that you're all
pretty sick
getting...
afterwards, so maybe...
Nobody was sick?
No, I was sick.
Oh, you were? Oh, wow.
Afterwards, so.
Well, yes, let's get back to
still
third
alive,
horns.
so it's okay.
Yeah, still alive. I'm glad to see that. Jose, put your drink down and tell us about your the third horn excerpt we think is funny.
Well, I can think of a few, I must say, but at least two. But one that I always feel a bit excited, gives me a lot of stress, is in Bruckner 7. I think it's the last movement.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It gives me more stress. It's like, and everyone is like, but silly enough. And Tchaikovsky 5 after the solo as well. It's always a bit like,
and me. Yeah.
And that is the most annoying one, I think.
Oh.
I prefer to play the solo than to play the.
Of course, it's like that is the most annoying thing. The fifth Tchaikovsky to have to play that, God. Because I'm the first horn player
2 weeks.
Well,
Okay, so Stefan, that would be yours. Fifth Tchaikovsky you would not like, but that's not a funny one.
No, that's not the funny one. My funny one is a different one. But I wait.
Okay, what's your funny one? Tell us your funny one.
It's when you're playing like the Dvorak violin concerto, and then you're playing the violin players. You have bop bop, just off nothing. No one else is playing, none of the other wins, just bop bop, and then and I played this. I don't have any problem with this register. I enjoy it. I have fun playing this, and we did this on Sophie Mutter, and it was just, we had a really good communication for this passage.
You did you?
She blew me a kiss.
Oh.
Afterward. And
I thought you meant me.
And you weren't playing. It was only 3.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And anyway, and then people, what's going on here? And it was just, we just had a nice talk before, because we played together with Karajan when she was 14, so I've known her for a long time. And this was an interesting thing. We were both waiting backstage in Dusseldorf or Dortmund or something to go. We were the only 2 people that were would enter for the Dvorak violin. So there was a piece beforehand, and it had only 2 horns and no solo violin. So we were both waiting backstage, and we had a nice talk about the Karajan days. So.
Oh. Did she tell you any juicy gossip that you could tell us?
Well, she said, she said, well, I said why she didn't come back for the whole number of years that she was never there for a long time. And I asked her, why hadn't she been a soloist with us? And she said, well, I thought the orchestra treated Karajan very badly. And I said, well, I really agree, because I was a Karajan fan. Karajan, hired me for the orchestra. And when people were complaining about Karajan, my older colleagues, I was saying, man, just don't, just appreciate what you have there. I mean, he had an amazing charisma, and when Karajan was conducting, it was something special. And, so we were talking about these old days. Anne-Sophie were talking about the days with Karajan. I told her also I thought the orchestra had not treated Karajan well, and so we had an immediate rapport. And then, so after the concert, it went rather well. My passage was okay, and she blew me a kiss like this, and this was very surprising for all of my colleagues. But that was with the Dvorak violin concerto. So
career highlights. Leelanee, if you move your head a little bit, you look like the Statue of Liberty. Move it a little bit. There, look.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic.
Thanks, right? Yeah.
The glass.
There we
Very
go.
observant, Sarah.
Very observant, yeah. I was drifting off in your story about Anne-Sophie Mutter, so I was looking at Leelanee's.
Sorry, I shouldn't talk too much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, this is what we love. We love all these inside stories on the Horn Hangouts. It's fantastic. So Leelanee is now going to tell us what her favorite moment is.
Oh, I like the last movement of Symphony Fantastique. Like, how are you going to do that every time? I feel like everybody's always waiting to see what you're going to have figured out in the horn section. So, and we talk about it all the time. So how much half valve, how much just kind of glissy stuff. But that moment always feels like it lasts a long time, though, too. When you when you
what
get
do
there
you
in the
do?
orchestra.
What do you do?
I do a half trigger on the way down, and I it's been a while since I played it, but it's written in my music, whatever it is I do. But there's a way, there's some alternate fingering, some way to slide through with a half valve on the thumb, and I think that's how I did it the last time we did it. So it was fabulously scoopy. Yeah.
We can keep an eye out for that. Next time you guys play Symphony Fantastique, I want to know that trick. And Javier, there are so many fantastic moments in the opera for third horn. There are also some really, Klaus Wallendorf used to warm up with third horn excerpts. Something like that. Or, I mean, that's in the first horn as well in Salome. But what about, are there ones that you find particularly funny to play?
There is. Last act of Meistersinger, there is one moment where it's a 3/4 and it goes in a very fast one. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's all 8 notes, and it's all slurred, and it sounds like you're trying to yodel. It's very quickly, but it goes on for a while. It goes that section. And it always feels like I try to approach it seriously when I'm practicing it, because, you want to play everything on the page and do it justice. But it really, my colleagues always look at me like I'm having a seizure, because it comes out of nowhere. Nobody's playing anything like that. And it seems like you got overwhelmed with joy and you started doing something that you shouldn't do. And at the end of it seems you always feels absurd. Even if you played it well, it just seems ridiculous.
Ridiculous and embarrassing.
Wolfgang is nodding his head. Wolfgang, you played it too, haven't you?
Yeah. I hate it.
You hate it?
Because you never can do it right.
Even if you do it right, you cannot do it right. That's the frustrating
part. If you do it
part.
right, it doesn't sound right.
Those are great excerpts. Thank you, guys. I will also want to know about the scariest ones and the ones that always come on auditions, but we'll get to that. But can I just get to quite a serious one? And Dan, if I may start with you, even though you spent the last years playing acting principal. Associate acting principal / yeah. But there's a good question from Jason Froggatt. He said, what would you say is the role of the third horn in an orchestra? Can you describe it? What is your ideal third horn? Is someone, if you were trying to coach someone to be an ideal third horn, what would your advice to them be?
Well, I don't know who's listening out here right now, but
a few people.
Maybe we need to explain. I remember my first job was in the Rochester Philharmonic as second horn, and the following season they offered me the opportunity to move to third, and I said sure. And then I found out that a lot of my friends thought I'd been demoted, because moving from second to third.
Stefan.
No, it's true.
Yeah. So, the way the horns traditionally work in pairs, maybe everybody needs to understand that. And the fact of the matter is that we all need to be flexible. If you're playing first horn, once in a while you get a bass line, like in the pictures at an exhibition after you play your promenade melody. And sometimes if you're playing fourth horn, you get a cadenza like the Beethoven 9. And everybody has to be able to do everything. And I think that applies to third horn in spades, where you're in the middle, and sometimes you're leading, and sometimes you're following, and sometimes you're above everybody else, and sometimes you're way near the bottom. And you have to be very flexible and do everything.
So if you have to do everything, but there are certain characteristics, or are there certain characteristics that a third horn must have? Or do you think it's really important that a third horn, well, I guess knowing your place is something really important for anybody in a section, knowing your place, and I don't mean that in a discipline, well, maybe I do, but also knowing what your role is. How would you describe the role of a third horn?
Well, you have to be able to match. I think of Freischütz, where in that sort of writing, you shouldn't be able to tell the difference between the first and the third. They need to sound like they're doing the same exact thing. Other times you're offset from the first horn. I think of Mahler 7, of course, you're muted as opposed to the first horn being open. But then I think you have this individual voice with this question and answer. So again, it's both. You have to match, and you have to have your own voice, and you have to know which is appropriate right now.
Michael, can I ask you something? When you got your job, is that an ambition to become a third horn, or was it just the job that you got? Because you play first horn too.
Yeah, I do.
All of you do, actually, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of orchestras, if one of the first horn's gone, the expectation is that the third horn steps up for, kind of whatever it is. And sometimes it's a first half or a second half, depending on what the other person wants to do. My ambition, because I went to school in Boston and studied with a bunch of the BSO players, and I loved it here, moved out of town for some other jobs, but I love the city, I love the scene, I love the orchestra. So I wanted to be back in Boston playing with the BSO. This is my dream job, and if it had been anything, I would have gone after it. But all my jobs were first horn before this, so it's easy enough for me to kind of flip a switch and just go back into first horn mode.
What's it like? What's it like being a first horn and then getting a third horn job? Do you have to? I mean, which one of you were all first horns before? Yeah, Jose, you were principal. What did you have to adjust? Because you were first horn before you came to the Concertgebouw.
Difficult, eh? Yeah, I was low horn.
That's right.
My career as a low horn.
I've totally forgotten.
8 years in Arnhem, here in Holland, and then I went to first horn in Spain, and I was there very, very short. But what I realized, I don't know. Of course, the muscles that we use are somehow different. In a way, I don't know. I see it a bit like if someone running 5,000 meters doesn't have to be a good marathon runner. No? It's different. But I had to practice more physically. But what I realized is that my bigger switch was here, from low to first horn. And from first to third, I think what Dan said, I quite agree. I think you have to know when you are there and when you are just one more of the section, and when you have to, we work first, second, third, fourth. Sometimes I think third is the new third. Oh no, third is the new first.
Third is the new first.
Something like this, but. Just sometimes you are there, sometimes you're not. But yeah, it's a sort of first horn job because we have many excerpts quite open as well.
Of course, your nerves have to be as good as the first horn, if not better, because the first horn gets to play play solos all the time. And then, I mean, as a low horn, one note can ruin your week if it's a low.
Yeah, that I had it a bit when I was low horn. That I was not used to hear my sound, to listen to my sound alone. So when it happened, I was like, oh my God, solo.
Yeah. So, Tunca used to be, just wrote in the chat, hello Tunca, he used to be our academist. He's from Turkey and he said playing first horn is much easier than playing third horn. Leelanee, would you agree?
Yes, in some ways. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you're just talking about an endurance standpoint, in the States, we always have an assistant. You have an assistant on whatever piece you want. And, third horn, you're on your own for the whole program all the time. I mean, just the level of endurance that you need is quite different. So that was probably the biggest adjustment for me too when I started my job, was just figuring out how to survive week after week after week with all the playing on the face. But yeah.
Yeah, people forget that the third horns don't have a bumper, but they're still expected to take over when the first horn is tired. I mean, Stefan Dor never uses a bumper, and so, but he rarely takes a note off, does he, Stefan? But you've got to be there.
No, it's really, yeah, I know. Stefan Dor is an amazing player, and so usually I think that the function of the third horn player is to provide volume, provide sound for the section, so that with our system, without an assistant, the third horn player should be able to take over like the heavy lifting, the playing the big tutti passages and make sound, so that although Stefan Dor does not need this, but other people, that maybe would sometimes use an assistant. We had guest principals sometimes. And so that's the role of the third horn player, is to we're sitting between the first horn and the fourth horn, so you can really influence the section, and you have to be sort of like the core of the section. It's
Stefan, have you moved your microphone?
Oh, here.
There it is. I knew it was there somewhere. No. I knew it was there somewhere.
What a unique job. For me, it was quite difficult getting used to playing.
It's not on.
That microphone might work.
Try this one. Try this one.
Little. We can hear you. We can hear you. It's just quite quiet. Yeah.
Better now?
Yeah, that's better. Fantastic. That's really good. You were about the horn, the third horn being the support of the.
No, one has to be able to provide a lot of the volume and the sound of the section. So in case the first horn player would need to rest, which in our case, when Stefan is playing, he
doesn't happen in my orchestra.
but other people, normal first horn players need to have a break, and so that the job of the third horn player is to carry some of the sound. But one has to really know, when to blend in, when to come out, when to stay back. For me, when I first started, one of the most difficult things was playing unison, high, loud stuff, because I was solo horn in Kassel. I was used to going for it. I couldn't, it was difficult for me to play along. This was the most stressy thing for a long time, is to play playing together high unison passages with Gerrit Seifert, who never missed. And so,
Yeah.
and I had just switched from my Kane D to a German style horn and mouthpiece. And so this was very stressy for a while. And, now I've been in the orchestra for a number of years. I've gotten used to the way things go. At the beginning, like unison high passages, that was like a real stressy thing.
Alex, the judge in New Jersey, there's another judge in New Jersey. Someone says Alex wins today's prize for the most interesting background.
All right.
There you go. We won't ask you.
Decorated by my wife. It's not by me.
Very nice. And the bottle's up the top. Very nice.
It's not me.
Alex, tell us, what do you prefer as a third horn? Do you like to sit? I know you guys sit 1, 2, 3, 4, but do you also sometimes sit 2 and 2? What does a third horn player think of that?
Are you asking me? Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah, because you have the nicest background.
Oh, thank you. Well, personally, I don't really mind. Different people have different preferences. Funnily enough, I recently brought up in a discussion in our section, because Jonathan Lipton, our previous fourth horn, he retired last July, and we've been having different people coming in as fourth horn since then. And Angela, our second horn, said actually she'd really like to sit 2 and 2, not just because she likes sitting 2 and 2, and she finds it's good for the balance and hearing everyone, but also being able to hear the fourth horn. So particularly in that sort of process, it's good for me personally. I'm not too fussed. I'm happy to sit either way. I don't notice a huge difference. I think so long as you don't, when you sit 2 and 2, I think it's important not to be sort of on certain staging. Like in Frankfurt, that hall with like the sort of red stage, the one where the Frankfurt Radio Symphony play. Like the rises are they're really deep, the rises. So if you sit 2 and 2, you could end up being really far away from the 2 in front, which is not nice. You don't want that. So it's sort of it depends on the hall, but in certain often on tour. So you might sit 2 and 2 just because it works better in the hall. My personal thing is that I can't say that I notice any profound difference. Some people.
You're an easygoing third horn player. And now the question to Wolfgang. Wolfgang, why do you guys sit like you sit? Can you explain that to the people watching who don't know about the Vienna Philharmonic sitting the wrong way round?
We think it's
You think it's the right way round? Okay.
No, this goes back to the time where Gustav Mahler was the director of the opera, and he made this setting. I think there are 2 reasons. In the opera, the first horn wants to see the stage. That's the reason why he's sitting on my right side. And I mean, I think that it makes us playing softer to hear the first horn better if it blows away from us.
But then you have the fourth horn right in your ear.
Yeah.
That's nice. I think what an honor, come on, you should be happy.
No, playing fourth horn. I'm used to it because we are sitting sometimes the other way around.
Yeah.
It's okay as well.
Javier, what did you want to?
I had a question for him. So that means that if the horn section would play on the other side of the pit, you would be sitting in the correct way because then the first horn would be able to see the stage?
That's true.
Ah. Good thinking, Batman. I didn't think of that.
I know the pits. And I was going to add that there's one thing you guys didn't mention. The benefit of sitting 2 and 2 is that the third horn gets to sit a little bit farther from the conductor. That's always a plus. Very good for chatting with your colleagues.
I never look at the conductor, so I don't care where I'm sitting.
Okay.
Okay, let's not get into the conductor situation. Nancy Thornton keeps asking, was Michael at NEC?
Yeah, I was.
Yes, you were. I know you were, but I wanted you to answer. Where is the glass closet in Stefan's room? I think that was because he was in another thing. There's some very funny questions coming in today. Tunja said, when he plays third horn, for me, it's difficult to play after the first horn passages with the same sound of the first horn in unison, and that's why it's stressy. Would you guys agree with that? I mean, matching a sound to the first horn, is that what makes it stressful?
Not only the sound, it's the intonation and the rhythm. It can be, one has to play together. That's the job. One needs to play together with the first horn player, and so it really is helpful if one knows the player and knows how to react. And that's really part of the thing. Just doing your own thing is not ideal. Although sometimes one has to just play as though, okay, I'm just going to play this part the way it needs to be played. Depends, but it's, in playing in an ideal section, which we try to have, it's important to just, sometimes blend in and not, have such a big ego, but really be a team player. And that's difficult sometimes because everyone who at a certain level is like, a soloist, but
you shouldn't have a big ego, because usually if you have a solo, they congratulate the first horn. So don't be jealous.
I feel like
yeah, but if the first horn player messes up, then the horns were bad.
That's true.
This happened to me that we had a concert with Klaus Tenstedt conducting Bruckner Fourth in Salzburg, and well, anyway, the section was good. There were some problems to the left of us. I don't want to talk about it, but in the newspaper, it said that the horn section was really bad. And actually, the three of us were very good that day.
Yeah, but that's just what it is, If
The way it is,
we have to take the responsibility.
You have to live and die with your principal horn player.
You do.
The third horn player is fun. It's great to play. I've played with many great first horn players, with Gerd Seifert, with Norbert Hauptmann, with Radek Babarok, with Stefan Dorr, and many other guest principals, some of them great. And it's just, it's still, well, anyway. When you have someone really great playing, it makes the job fun.
It's a tough job. Dan, what's it like after all these years to be playing third again? Do you feel like you've been promoted?
I'm just confused.
I bet.
I played 15 years of fourth horn before moving to third.
Wow.
And sometimes I would just find myself playing the fourth horn part, even though I was looking right at the third horn part. Sometimes I don't know if I'm on foot or horseback, but it's all fun.
It's all fun. That's good. What excerpt can we get? We just have to get. I mean, time just goes. I don't know how we've been online for ages. It's amazing, and everyone is they're so excited to see you all. They're in absolute awe of these legends all on the screen. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you have any third horn questions, because actually we've got to wrap it up quite soon. But I still have some third horn questions of my own, and I know many of you want to know, if you're preparing for an audition, what third horn excerpts will always come in your particular orchestras. Dan, what would your orchestra always want to hear from a third horn?
Brahms piano concertos, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll let somebody else take it from there.
Yeah, Alex, LSO?
For an audition?
Yeah.
You mean? What? Brahms piano concertos, as Dan said, and also Mendelssohn's Scottish Symphony. Always.
Oh, that little bigger, that one.
Yeah, that. Also, the nice bit though in the slow movement, the duet, that was just lovely. So it balances out good and bad.
Good and bad. Michael?
I would add Brahms 4 and Queen Mab to that list.
We just played that in the orchestra. Stefan got that. No, Stefan, you were off that week.
I was off that week.
Yeah.
Sadly, I had a chamber music gig. I would have loved to play.
Yeah, no, that was good fun. Wolfgang, when you do auditions in the Vienna Philharmonic, they have to do opera excerpts as well, right?
That's true. But there's no special audition for third horn. It's the same like for first horn, the same excerpt.
Right.
Mainly first horn excerpt.
So mainly the solo stuff. Okay, that's good to know. If you're gonna join the Vienna Philharmonic.
Has to be played for the high horn
I
audition.
had to do Meistersinger.
You had to
Yeah.
do Meistersinger.
in
Ah,
the
which
first
one?
round. Yeah.
Which one? The Prügelszene?
End of the second act.
Horrible, you know.
Javier, don't you think that one in an audition? When you get to the second act, you're so tired anyway, and that one comes out. You have to pop that out of nowhere, don't you? All of a sudden.
That's right. That's right. Although in the context of the orchestra, you play it with the trumpet. The first horn plays it without help, but we have the trumpet playing unison most of it with us.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little bit of a disappointment when I got to play it, but at the same time, it makes it easier. But for us, that will always be on the list, and also some of the first act Meistersinger and the Rosenkavalier presentation of the Rose. But that's also an orchestra, right? Symphony orchestras as well, maybe.
But those are really good tips to have, because when everyone's at home right now and everyone's looking for stuff to practice, and we've been talking about low horns and first horns and what to practice. So to have this list of tips from you guys, I don't know if any of you who want to write these down in the chat so that we can look them all up later. That'd be really fantastic. Leelanee, how about you? I'm sorry, it's really raining here in Berlin.
It's raining. It's pouring here too. It just started actually.
And I've got
New Jersey.
I've got slanted roofs, so it sounds like somebody's doing timpani exercises on my window. So sorry about that, if you can hear it. Yeah, New York Phil. Well, you guys are looking for a first horn right now.
Yeah, and actually the last couple auditions we've had, our last third horn audition was also an associate and assistant audition. So it was a lot of first horn excerpts, but a lot of third horn lists I've seen have the Saint-Saëns Organ Symphony, of course, which I love those excerpts, but those are always on the list lately, it seems like, in the States.
Okay. Well, there's a good question here. Let's do this really quick round. This has nothing to do with third horn playing, but I love these sort of questions. What is something you have all been doing more of during this pandemic? More of horn playing, more of sport, more of drinking? I've been eating more. What about you guys? Dan, start with you.
I have no piano skills, but I've been spending some time at the keyboard in hopes of becoming a better musician.
Oh, that's nice. That's fantastic. Alex, you've been changing nappies.
Yes, I'm taking care of my daughter, who's done, learned. She's actually, before the hangout, I didn't tell you, but she'd taken her first steps walking.
Oh.
So she learned to crawl at the start of the lockdown, and then she's been standing up a lot, and she's just done a little bit of walking before. So that's sort of been the main thing I've been doing during lockdown, is being a dad and watching her develop, which has been amazing to have the time to be here as much as I have been.
Yeah,
it's great.
I can imagine. She's so cute. She really is. Michael, well, Elise, I guess you've been a full-time dad. That's what you've been doing more of than usual. Yep. Because you and I, you're both horn players. So have you guys been playing duets? You got a whole trio now.
We do have a trio. Yeah, we've been doing a little bit, not a ton, because actually, like, trying to, if Elise is taking a nap, that's when we're both like, oh, all these things we have to get done. So it's usually our time that we could spend duets is scramble time doing 100 other things.
Yeah. And is there anything else you've been doing more of? You've been doing, I don't know.
Cycling.
Cycling. Yeah, you and Gus going around the tank going, oh, by the way, speaking of you and Gus, look, I brought this in your honor.
Nice.
This is Gus. Gus, he brings a Boston hat, and he gave it to me in Tango with the summer. So I brought that in your honor. You guys were like all round those. You're going to miss that this year, huh? Everything just sucks big time right now. Yeah. Really. Tango being cancelled. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm also a Red Sox.
Boston Red Sox. Wolfgang, what have you been doing more of?
I improved my skills in wood turning, practicing the horn with my son. I mean, he was practicing. I was a little bit of doing teaching with him. And I cooked every day. So that's what I did all the time.
Good. And Jose was preparing for the new birth, weren't you?
We were preparing, and I bought an electric bass, jazz bass.
Electric bass, cool. Have you got it there? Can you play something?
No, well, it's upstairs. It's really upstairs. I had a couple of guitars already. I like to play some music.
Cool.
But I'm now changing diapers mostly.
Sweet. And Stefan Jezierski has had to watch all the Star Wars movies, right?
I've been watching Star Wars movies with my sons. I've been practicing. I've been playing tennis almost every day. I've been cooking. I've been eating. I've been drinking. Been spending time with my family, and fortunately rehearsing every now and then with
with us. Yay!
Sarah, Stefan, and Andre.
And
so, you know, I'm and teaching online also. You know,
yeah, that's another challenge.
Korea, I taught it to Korea, to Harry.
Yeah, gosh. Hi, Harry, if you're watching. It's probably middle of the night for us. So she might.
No, I don't know.
But Leelanee and Javier, you guys, as you say, you're in New York. You guys can't go out actually. So you know, what are you doing? What are you doing more of?
Leelanee, you want to go first?
Sure. I've been practicing, I don't know why, but I'm playing Bach cello suites on the horn a lot and enjoying it in the original
thought you were going to say you were playing them on the cello. Now that would.
No, I wish, yes. I'm imagining what that would be like. I'm getting up the courage to maybe ask a cellist in my orchestra to hear me maybe on one of them, make some suggestions. But also cooking a lot, and around here going to the grocery store is like an all-day affair. You need a list and you need time and you need to wait in line, and so that's cooking and yeah. it's become a job.
Wow. And Javier, you've been holding Zoom sessions with your horn section.
Yes, with the horn section. I'm also on the orchestra committee, so there's a lot of those meetings going on. But I've been spending a few hours in the kitchen every day, which is great because I like cooking, and drinking wine has been something that I've been doing very often, more often than usual. And yeah, I'm just trying to practice and keep in shape. But yeah, it seems like every day is the same day. It's like Groundhog Day.
So basically we're all the same, you know, we're all the same. We all play in great orchestras and but we're all the same. It's something like this happens, we're all doing the same. We're all spending time with families, we're cooking, we're eating, we're trying to practice, we're struggling with practice, and we miss playing in the orchestra. So, and I think everyone watching, they'll all agree with that as well. To finish off with, do any of you guys have a really cool third horn story or a third horn moment that you've experienced during your careers that you would dare to share with us? The crazier, the better. Like, have you had to like stop it? Have you seen, like, remember Alex in your orchestra when the principal oboe was playing and his oboe broke, and then he just grabbed the oboe from the second oboe? Do you remember that? Something crazy.
Oh, yeah, Olivier.
Yeah, that was really
I think it's gone sort of viral. I don't know.
It did, yeah.
He had this moment where he was, I can't remember even which piece is it Damnation of Faust?
It was Damnation of Faust, and he was playing the solo, and literally he
had an air bubble, and he went like sort of some kind of he like hit the key to try and get well, I don't know the exact story, but he hit the oboe to get the air bubble out, but it sort of broke the reed, so he quickly gave his oboe to Rosie, our second oboe, grabbed her oboe and carried on playing. But I don't know the exact, but I know she plays on a different keying system or something, and he carried on. But also, what was the most amazing thing is not just that he carried on, but Rosie, you know, bless her heart, she just sort of, I think she kind of just started kind of making another reed for him.
She fixed it for him. This was all happening.
So then fixed the oboe, whatever was going on, made another reed or something, and then gave it back to him so he could carry on with his oboe. So pretty amazing, fast thinking. I've never had anything happen like that.
You never have? Has anybody had any crazy third horn moments? Come on, guys, unpack them here. This is the time.
I can ruin careers with the stories.
I had a big onstage fight with Gerd Seifert with the Seventh Mahler, with Heidi conducting it.
In the concert?
It was a recording session.
Oh, tell us.
You know, it was like, okay, I was playing the echo, and this is one thing my predecessor, Gunther Kupp, said, here, if you, kid, if you ever play the Seventh Mahler, take this mute. Use this mute. You'll be happy.
Javier's throwing mutes on the ground right now.
Sorry.
And so I played it, and he was right. The string players all shuffled after I played. Each time in the concert, we did a television concert and everything. And then we had, and Garrett had played the introduction to the solo, you know, ba da da ba ba. He played, but no one really, but the string players love it when you play softly. If you know, they think if you're sensitive, you can play softly. The string play, that's how you get points in the orchestra, playing softly. So you need a soft mute for this solo. And then so we did the recording session, and Haitink said, told me, I got there, well, late. I didn't, back in those days, I was not conscientious and I was not warmed up. And I had come on my bicycle. I took allergy medicine that I had never taken before, guaranteed not to make you sleepy. So I was kind of like hyped. And so we started with I thought we would start up with some movement, but no, we started with the night music. So over there, and so I played it and I messed it up. And you know, Garrett played the call and I played the answer, and I wrong note. Then we did it again, and I missed a different note. And so Haitink said, because we had already done the concerts and they went really well. And Haitink said, well, why don't you go back to where you were sitting during the concert? It was always really good then. And so I said, we're going back there, and Garrett said, it's not because where he was sitting. And no one paid any attention. So he said a bit louder, it's not. So we had this like, it got carried away. And then we had this argument, and then we played it again. Then, you know, he accused me of missing the notes on purpose just to mess him up, you know. And then so we played it again, and he missed a note, which was very rare. But he missed a note and said, okay, was that on purpose? Are you trying to mess me up? You know. So if the first horn player is like messing with you, you have to defend yourself. And it was an extreme situation, but it was in front of the whole orchestra. And this was like, oh. And I'm just really glad that things have, since those days, that was like 20 years ago, they're very harmonic, and we work together and try to get a good result in the section. But it was really stressy back then.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was a stressy.
You can mention first horn names because Gerd is no longer with us, but I guess all of you guys, I don't know.
He was a great player, but he was sometimes just extremely difficult to deal with.
Did you ever meet him, Dan? Did you ever meet
Sure.
Gerd Seifert? Yeah? Was he nice to you?
He was very nice to me and nice to my wife, Mary, who was playing eighth and bottom Wagner tuba and Bruckner. And every time he saw her, he would sing, da 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 da.
Okay, well.
Singing there.
You know, I just have to add to this. Garrett had his negative sides, but we had also a lot of really fun times together. I do not want to cast him in a negative light. He was an amazing solo horn player.
He was a genius horn player, but it's a third horn
player,
hangout.
and we had a lot of good times, and this was one of the bad times. And after this one bad time, he let me.
You missed Alex. Alex is shoveling whatever. Yeah.
We keep digging. Yeah.
It was really okay after that.
Yeah.
He decided it was not worth
So
it.
back to the subject. Gerd Seifert was the first horn player, but back to the third horns, because we're about to sign off in a second. And I just want to give everyone watching who's you know, our horn player friends who are watching just some third horn pearls of wisdom, because we're all here. You guys are my third horn heroes. I'm really sorry. Amy Jo just texted me. She's still in the meeting, and she probably wasn't supposed to text. But she says lots of love to everyone, and we'll have to do another one with her there, but she's really sorry she couldn't make it, but hi to everyone. A third horn pearl of wisdom. If you had a student come to you and say, I want to be a third horn player, Wolfgang, what would you tell them? I think I know what you're going to say. No. What would you tell them?
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend anyone to try to be a third horn.
Yeah, but say somebody really wanted to do that. Someone said, okay, I don't want to be first horn. I can't play low notes.
I really wants to do it, then I would tell him, just do it. Just try to do it. But I try not to judge someone for playing low horn, high horn, third horn, first horn, because especially as a horn player, most of the stuff is going on in the whole section. So you need everybody to be as good as possible as trying to do the same musical way, to sound the same like the rest of the group. So I don't see any difference, except that the first horn players, they earn more money, but.
Okay, good answer. Very good, very, very good answer, Wolfgang. Thank you.
If someone wants to be a third horn, then you tell them, no, you should be a first horn. You get
then
money.
you get more money.
Jose, what would you say?
All the time.
Sorry, Wolfgang.
Because, I mean, we play concerts and opera. And I remember a time we had, in 1 week, we had rehearsal for Salome and rehearsals for Götterdämmerung and rehearsals for Mahler 3. So we have the Saturday afternoon subscription concerts. We played Mahler 3. Afterwards, we went to the opera and played Salome. The next day on Sunday, we have the subscription concert at 11, Mahler 3 again. And the same day at 5 o'clock, we had Götterdämmerung. So it was pretty fun.
That's going back to what you said, Leelanee, about not having an assistant on third horn. That's like, that is full.
The changing and having an assistant, and as a third horn, you have to stay. Because we have 3 first horns, but only 2 third horns. So.
Yeah, wow. Dan, do you find it more tiring now playing third horn, having had an assistant the last 6 years?
Yeah, that would be my advice, as has been said. If you want to play third horn, be prepared to work hard.
Yeah, totally.
Tricky. I think being third horn is a tricky, like, balancing act. That's the thing. That really, really good piece of advice given to me before I started in the LSO from my teacher, Jeff Bryant. Oh, it says my internet connection's unstable.
It's okay, mine is too. No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
But I was told to remember that not many horn players have been sacked for not being able to play loud enough, but many have been sacked for not being able to play quiet enough. I found very interesting as a third horn player. I thought, yeah, I've got to do the heavy lifting, but you have to also be prepared because you have to play those early moments as well.
Yeah. One thing that's really important is that you have to be able to, these notes like E, D, F, F sharp, G, you have to be able to enter those notes, those in like completely alone. That's the thing. That's what you get paid for as a third horn player. You have to be able to to play those notes and play them softly or loudly, whatever, and accurately. And it's a matter of, those are the things that Brahms symphonies, that's what one has to do as a third horn player. One has to
try that on F horn. It's much more fun.
I love it.
You guys don't have any choice. You have to play it on the F horn. No, that's very true. Absolutely. You guys
are note centered. If you really have it in your lips and your air, then you will be able to play it on the F horn or the B flat horn or whatever. Yeah. And
well,
the thing is, if it's played on high F horn, sometimes it can lose hot overtones, and the shorter the tube, the more generic the sound. So I really appreciate Wolfgang playing things on the long F horn. It's a very characteristic horn sound, and
we have no choice.
I admire the Vienna horn sound. It's always been an ideal for me. So cheers. Yeah. Here's to you, Wolfgang.
Here's to the Vienna horns. I admire all of you guys, and I must say, some of the highlight concerts I've had have been sitting next to some of you. Michael, this summer, the last summer in Tanglewood for John Williams, to sit next to you for that was just amazing. Wolfgang, our quartet concerts in Japan, where your colleague forgot his trousers and had to wear mine for the concert. Yeah, you remember that one. Jose, I missed you when you were at the Berlin Phil, but next time you come back, I will be there. Stefan, I love playing with any. Alex, there's been some great concerts with you and Dan many years ago, but still, I remember my time with you guys. I was in the back though. I was like 20th horn in Mahler, whatever it was that we were playing. Leelanee, we still have to play together. We do. And Javier as well. I hope that happens soon. I hope we're all just going to play. The best thing, if there's anything good about this COVID time, is the fact that we can actually meet like this, because we never would have normally, would we? We would have waited till we were on tour. But thank you so much, really. I mean, you guys don't go away. We've got to go offline now because poor Jakob, our webmaster, I told him 45 minutes and it's like, we've gone way over that. But thanks so much. Matthew just wrote in, Jeff Bryant, amazing musician. Yeah, he really was, wasn't he? He still is. He's still playing.
Legend. Just a wonderful person and a wonderful horn player and musician, but a wonderful person. And I think truly like a pedagogue. That's the way I would describe Jeff. Just a wonderful man. A wonderful man.
Totally. Well, all of you are. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us on the Horn Hangouts. On Monday, we are having a natural horn hangout with three absolute legends, Tony Halstead, Annika Scott, and Roger Montgomery, who are three of the top natural horn players in the world. And I don't know much about the natural horn. Alex, do you approve of that choice?
Absolutely.
All
They're
Brits.
wonderful. I've loved Annika who's been uploading her playing these ridiculous sort of Gallet studies every day.
Crazy stuff.
Absolutely mental, amazing. Yeah.
Crazy. I've never met her, but I can't wait to meet her on Monday. So if any of you are around, 3 p.m. Berlin time, 9 a.m. New York time. So yeah, so all of you could actually get up for that. So wish you guys all the best. Jakob will we'll turn off the stream, say goodbye to all of you on the Horn Hangouts. And hey, we got to do a selfie. What about the selfie? We forgot the Don't forget the selfie. Okay. Oh, by the way, you guys, there's a prize for the best selfie today. What we do, Dan, you're probably very confused by this. You could smile, or if you have a horn, or good. Oh, look, there's whiskey.
The after party.
Wolfgang, this is still packed up. You got to.
Sure.
So there is actually. Can I show you the prize? Can I show you the prize for today? Look at this.
Sarah, I need one of.
It's a Horn Hangout, Horn Hangout apron. Stefan Dorr did a cooking Horn Hangout, and I made him one out of a T-shirt. So, and everyone wanted them, so we've had them made. And I thought they've just arrived, and so I thought I'd model them. So for the best selfie today, you're going to get an apron. If any of you guys would like an apron, I'm more than happy to send you one. I mean, my guests, not everyone online. So let me know.
Oh yeah, sure. Apron would be cool.
The best and the most creative selfie today gets a Horn Hangout apron. All right, so we've got Jose. You've got your wine. No, you've got your Javier. What do you got to show us? There we go. Okay, ready? One, 2, 3. Smile. Gee, I can hear all those screenshots going click, 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 click all over the world. I wonder what we're going to get today. We've had horses, guinea pigs, budgerigars, you name it. Okay, Stefan, what was that imposter? You've got your flugelhorn.
Oh, is that a flugelhorn? A flugelhorn, yeah.
Okay. So is anyone going to play us out? How about everyone play their favorite third horn excerpt all together? Okay, and Jakob can turn it off when he's had enough. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Here we go.
Wow.